If you've ever sold your art at art fairs or art markets, then you've probably seen just how often customers whip out their phone and try to take pictures of your artwork. It's not only really annoying, but some of these customers are actually stealing your work to be able to print off at home without purchasing your art prints, or even be able to upload to print-on-demand websites like Printful and Printify, and then sell your work on sites like Etsy, eBay, and more. And as you can imagine, over the past 10 years of doing art fairs, I've tried lots of things to get people to stop taking photos of my artwork. Some of them have worked, some of them haven't. And so I'm going to share exactly what I've learned in this video. First off, I tried not doing anything and just letting people do whatever they wanted. But I quickly found out this was not the approach to take, because I would have people zooming in really close on my artwork, taking picture after picture, literally going around from piece to piece all the way around my booth and taking really nice high resolution images from their phone cameras of all of my original paintings. Obviously, I couldn't continue to allow that to happen, so I started to put up signs. Here are two of the signs that I made. This one is just made out of paper. This one I have mounted to a wood board so that way I can use it in outdoor situations on the outside of my booth. Signs do work as a deterrent, but a lot of people won't read them. And so the next thing that I also do alongside the signs is if I see somebody zooming in really close on one of my paintings with their phone held up in front of them, I walk over to them and immediately stick my hand in between them and my artwork and say, I don't allow photos. Sometimes if it's happening a lot, I get really rude with people and say, do you know what? When you take photos of my work, it's stealing. And that usually sets them aback and they stop right away. Now, oftentimes they leave my booth in a hurry if I get too rude about it. And so I would say to start out with the nice approach. Say, please, will you not take photos of my artwork? Instead, purchase a print and send them to your print bin. Or instead, here, look them up on my website. There are better photos on there anyway. These methods work really well for dealing with customers who are just straight out trying to steal your work, who are never probably going to purchase. But what about the customers who really just want to share your artwork with a friend who might be interested in purchasing it? Because I get that a lot. It's probably 75% of the people who are trying to take photos. They're actually very innocent about it. They're not trying to steal your work. They just want to share it with their friends, and their friends might actually be customers of yours. And so how do you deal with this? One of the things that I figured out is not to say no completely, because then you are losing out on that potential sale and you never want to turn down sales. But you can very easily say, hey, I do allow photos, but I must put my business card in front of the artwork before you take a photo of it. This serves two purposes. First, it protects your artwork from being able to be printed off from their photo. But the other added benefit is later on, if their friend wants to order from you, if you have your details displayed on that business card, they are going to be able to see that in the photo when they zoom in. This will help you sell the work later without even giving their friend a business card. And this business card method of protecting artwork has made me lots of sales because their friends do end up coming to me to purchase, whether it's at the art fair or online later. But there are some things that I've tried that haven't worked. I had the idea that if I allowed a customer to take a booth wall pic, so not a picture close up of any of my artworks, but just the entire wall, and that way they could send that to friends, that it would be a good way to promote my work and not have theft, because each image would be very small in resolution and it'd be hard for them to crop them out and print them or steal them. But what I realized right away was that there were a portion of people who had really bad intentions and obviously wanted to steal my work, who would try to fake taking a picture of the entire wall, but then when you're not looking and watching them like a hawk, they will zoom in really close on an artwork so they can get that close-up photo in as big a resolution quality as they can. And this is no good. You can't constantly police people who are taking photos of your work. The other problem is if one person sees somebody's camera out taking photos, then they want to also take their cameras out and take photos. And then all of a sudden you've got 5 people out of the 20 of them that are in your booth taking photos of your work rather than buying. They are cluttering up the space in your booth. If you have a 10 by 10 booth and then you have a few people taking photos with no intention to buy, and then other people on the outside of the booth trying to get in to actually purchase something, to look through your print bins, these people taking photos are wasting space in your booth. And so having that wasted space in there, I mean, I know it's bad to call people wasted space, but honestly, if they're not buying, they need to go. And so I want people people in my booth to spend the smallest amount of time that it takes to get them to buy and then leave. So that way I can get someone else in the booth to buy. So having these people just taking photos is wasting my time, and I need to get other customers in there. The other thing that I've seen some artists do, and I have not tried, is actually protecting each image with a ribbon or a piece of paper across the entire image. This says their website or their copyright, or it says do not photograph. And honestly, I think that's going a bit too far, and that's why I haven't tried it. I mean, imagine walking in someone's booth and having every single painting on the wall, part of it covered up with something like do not photograph or my copyright work, whatever they want to say on there. I think it makes it not a very inviting experience for potential buyers. And that's the thing you have to juggle with doing art fairs. You need to protect your interests when it comes to your copyright and your work getting stolen, but you also need to protect your interests when it comes to making money. And so you have to balance these things. And that's why I think the methods of having the sign and then putting your business card in front of the work before they photograph it, if they are wanting to send it to a friend, these things are kind of disarming. They obviously tell people who are in your booth that you don't want them taking photographs. You are aware that they are trying to steal your work if they are taking photographs, but it helps you still make the money that you want to if those customers are referring you to friends and they are being honest about it. Next, if you're interested in some additional tips for interacting with customers at art fairs, check out this video. All right, thank you so much for watching. See you next time.